Hello, hello, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me once again for another book review. Hey, 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 hey! So, let's go ahead and dive into this, okay? I am not going to say the author's name because I know that I am going to botch it, okay? So, I am not going to embarrass myself by trying to pronunciate this correctly. Okay, I'm just not. So the book is called Someday Maybe, and this is the cover of the book. Can you see that? And right here is the name of the author. I am not going to attempt to pronounce that. So that is the name of the author. It will also be on the title of this book review video, so you'll have it there. So let's go ahead and get into this. I guess I'm going to forewarn you. This is a touchy subject. So be forewarned that we are going to be discussing a story that revolves around a person committing suicide. So I just want to get that off the bat so that you are aware before we dive into this, okay? The main character slash secondary character, I guess, is Quentin, aka Q. Now, he is an artist on the rise. He was besotted with Eve at first meet back in college. Quentin committed suicide. That is kind of right off the bat in the first chapters of the book. Quentin doesn't leave a note, and this defining act has left those behind grappling to make sense of it all. There are no signs of Quentin heading in this direction. His career was taking off, his marriage was in a good place, and he seemed happy. No one understands why Quentin did this. However, those left behind have to figure out a way to grieve and heal from this experience, which everyone does in their own way. This story is all about the after effects of Quentin's actions and how the families cope with their new reality. Eve is the wife of Quentin. She graduated college with an English major and obtained employment rather quickly after graduation at a magazine called Circle. Eve thought she and Quentin had a good relationship. It wasn't without some hardships, but overall a good relationship. Eve thought she and Quentin had a long life together. Even though she and Quentin had a good relationship, outside forces like his mother Aspen made it difficult to navigate sometimes. I will mention that Eve is Nigerian and Quentin is Caucasian. So there were some hardships with that interracial relationship that they had to navigate, and Quentin's mother Aspen definitely made her feelings known. As I said, Aspen is Quentin / Q's mother. She's a bitter woman that is not new to loss. Aspen's husband died and left her to raise Quentin. Quentin became Aspen's world, which she did not want to share. Okay, and Aspen didn't want Quentin involved with Eve and made that abundantly clear. She did not think Eve was good enough for her Quentin, which I don't think anyone would have been good enough for her son, but the fact that Eve was African American just was kind of the icing on the cake. Aspen felt Eve was taking her son away from her, even though she and Quentin spoke weekly and he visited her in person monthly. Like, Aspen actually seemed to have a good amount of time with her son. You know, a monthly in-person face-to-face visit and weekly phone calls. Like, most parents wish that they had that type of access and communication with their adult children. So she was actually doing good by that account. Then there is Gloria, who is Eve's sister, and she is a reputable lawyer with a husband, Alex, and 2 children. Gloria has taken on Eve's battles since they were kids in school. If anyone messed with Eve or her little brother Nate, Gloria was the second mama bear of this family. She was going to handle it. Then there is Nate, Eve and Gloria's little brother. Nate has lost his job and Eve helped him get hired on at Circle before her abrupt departure. Belinda, aka B, became Eve's best friend after coming to work at the magazine The Circle as the art director. B gives it to you straight with no chaser, but loves you all the while, okay? And then there is Jackson, who is Quentin's best friend. Jackson is torn up about Q's passing right along with everyone else. Jackson has known Q's family since being kids, and thus his loyalties sway more towards Aspen during this grieving period. Jackson, however, is caught in the middle between Eve and Aspen, and he finds himself on the outs with Eve for divulging information she is not ready to reveal. Jackson communicates with Aspen, and so that gives Eve a little bit of discomfort, knowing that Jackson is aware of how Aspen has treated her. This book is literally walking through Eve's grief journey and how it affects those around her. However, her family rallies behind her to support, protect, and comfort her. How Quentin's mother, Aspen, handles the death of her only child, which she believes Eve took from her. You want to feel bad for her, give her a level of empathy and sympathy, but how Aspen treats Eve makes it kind of hard. We know both women are going through it because they both loved Quentin, but Aspen makes a tough situation worse by her behavior and actions. I would say it's borderline malicious at best. Okay, now I'm not sure what's going on, but I have been reading about death, suicides, and books containing grief of some kind within the last month or so. And now the holidays are a trying time for me personally for various reasons, and I had no intention of reading this kind of material, and I'm surprised that it hasn't had a negative effect on me yet. I'll say yet, because the holidays are not over. And sometimes emotions and thoughts can creep up on you. So I completely understand if this is not the time of year to read this book. The story itself is triggering, but I will mention the triggers. There is suicide mentioned. The behaviors of Aspen can be triggering, and the emotions Eve and family goes through can possibly trigger you. I know this time of year, the holidays, there's a higher level of depression and suicidal rates. I would implore you to not take a permanent action for a temporary problem. I was on vacation and I came back to find out Twitch from the TikTok and Ellen Show dancer had taken his own life, apparently. I didn't know him personally, but he brought joy to so many people, and my heartfelt condolences go out to his family. Like this book, the suicide came as a surprise to all. Quentin seemed happy, and nothing seemed to be causing him stress or depression or anxiety. The family and friends left behind are wondering if there were signs they missed, if there was something they could have done to prevent this from happening. The death of a loved one is not easy, and especially when it's unexpected. I plead to anyone feeling like this is the only way out, the only way to stop hurting, or the only solution to your problem. It's not. So please, please, please talk to someone. Surround yourself with people that will protect you, even if they have to protect you from you. In life, we go through things that are temporary, no matter how long it lasts. It may seem like the issue or the problem or the feeling or the circumstance has gone on for forever, and it doesn't look like it will end. I and others will tell you that it will end eventually, and it's temporary, and things can and will change. You are valued and loved, and you are here for a reason. Even if you don't know what that reason is yet, you are here for a reason. And you may not see the light yet, but if you keep going, it will show itself, and you will be happy that you hung in there to see it. So I see you, and I love you, and I want you to have peace, and I want to see you or hear from you in this next year. So whatever you're going through, take it a day at a time, a moment at a time, an hour at a time, a minute at a time. But I implore you to keep going. I implore you to hang on. And I will be praying for all of you, and a permanent action to a temporary problem. I don't want that for you, okay? So I know this has been kind of heavy, and I did not intend for it to be heavy, but I know that this time of year is a real sucky time of year for a lot of people. And reading this book just kind of put it in your face, you know. It definitely goes through some emotions, the grief process, as they say. So I want to forewarn you about that, and I also just wanted you to know, if you are out there and you are feeling like this, talk to someone, talk to someone, even if it is a complete stranger. Talk to someone. And if you are the person that a person has come to talk to, be mindful of what they are going through, their emotions, and their feelings. And no matter what you might be feeling, be there for them in a productive way. And even if you don't know what to do, being present is the first step. Be present for them. Be there for them. Listen to them. No matter how long it takes, listen to them. If they need to come over and just sit and look at the four walls with you, do that. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. I am not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. Even though I did shoot a grief counselor a message, and I asked if they would read the book and maybe talk about it, but that didn't happen in a timely manner, so this review is going to be posted without that. Maybe it will happen in the future, maybe it won't, but we will just see. I did listen to the audiobook version. It was about a little over 11 hours. There are discussion questions provided in the physical copy of the book, which I will refer you to for conversation topics. As hard as this book might be to read, it is a very good book. And I give it a 10 out of 10. And the author did a very good job with describing what Eve goes through emotionally and physically and mentally in this book, which I could probably guess survivors of loved ones that have committed suicide have gone through. Like I said, it is a kind of touchy subject, but maybe a necessary one. If you haven't read the book, it might not be the best time of year to read it for some, but it is a good book. I do suggest reading it. It is a good story. I think it's a teachable learning moment. And if you have already read the book, comment your thoughts. I'd like to know what you thought about it. Click like, subscribe, share. I know this is kind of a different kind of review, just a little bit, but I hope you like and share it anyway. Maybe it will resonate with someone. So until next time, keep turning the pages, my book lovers.